channel. I don't often do these webcammy videos with the screen capture, but I want to show you this one because this is really one of the worst examples of bad journalism and drone vilification I've seen in a long time. This happened here in New Zealand, and it involves DOC, which is our Department of Conservation. It's a government organisation responsible for protecting the national parks and the natural reserves of the country. So this headline reads, DOC confiscates tourist drone after frustrated hikers nail it with a stone. Yeah, cliche much. Anyway, it says the Department of Conservation says it has confiscated a tourist drone after they were caught flying it in the Tongariro National Park. And here's the sign, a little C, no drones, pretty obvious. Guess you could fly a fixed wing there under that sign. But it says, in a statement today, DOC said the drone's operator had ignored signs in the park, clearly stating that drones were not allowed, and had flown it anyway. Okay, so there's fault there. They shouldn't have done that, all right? They shouldn't have done it. Should have got a permit if they wanted one. Anyway, it says, but as the operator flew the device, not a craft, but a device, over a group of hikers, they picked up stones and threw them at it, with one of them scoring a direct hit. The drone crash landed soon afterwards, and a dock ranger found it near Emerald Lakes and waited for the operator to come and retrieve it, but they never did. The next day, the tourist asked at the Whakapapa Visitor Centre about his drone, trying to get it back, but was refused and left the country soon after. Now, this is where this report starts getting really bad. Okay. DOC Tongariro Operations Manager Connie Norgate said there were good reasons why drones aren't allowed in that area. And here's a quote from Connie Norgate. With helicopter operations taking place almost daily, the drone use puts these aircraft and their pilots at risk. Mr. Norgate said, hang on, Connie. I thought that was a woman's name. Let's just check. Oh yes, there's Connie Norgate. She is a woman. Who the hell wrote this? This is what I mean about the quality of journalism. Mr. Norgate. There's no fact checking. Really, seriously, unless Ms. Norgate is very gender fluid, the journalist couldn't even get the gender of this person who is quoted repeatedly in the article right. This is our national broadcaster. This is our state-funded broadcaster. This is one of their news reports. It shows how trashy our journalism is, and it's not just New Zealand, it's around the world. But let's move on. Ms. Norgate went on to say, this incident also shows how they drones disturb people's privacy and quiet enjoyment of the outdoors. Now, hang on a minute. There seems to be something not quite adding up here. Helicopter operations are taking place almost daily. But one drone destroys the quiet enjoyment of the outdoors. Last time I checked, helicopters were a damn sight more noisy than drones. And these helicopter operations are taking place almost daily. Yet when one drone is flown without a permit, it's too much of an invasion of people's privacy, and it's too much noise. I don't think that really adds up. Why wasn't this challenged? And then Ms. Norgate goes on to say again, in a complete disinformation, we regularly hear about near misses between drones and other aircraft around the country, and we remind drone owners that they are putting other people's lives at risk when flying without a permit. So a permit obviously must make drones quieter, so that, because she mentioned nothing about noise, so that the noise problem completely goes away if you get a permit. And we have this word regularly. Regularly, it regularly just means with a constant cadence. That means every so often. You know, once a year is regularly. Once every 10 years is regularly. Once a century is regularly. If over several centuries we've seen the same thing happen. It doesn't imply frequency, but she is implying frequency by suggesting that, we're always hearing about near misses between drones and other aircraft. So let's just look at that. Now, I don't think I need to remind regular viewers that the recreational use of multi-rotor drones has never accounted for a single death anywhere in the world ever in the entire history of mankind. These are incredibly safe devices. But she's saying, this could put people's lives at risk when they're flying helicopters. Well, let's just take a little look here. Look at this. Mid-air collision above Paraparaumu claims third life. The mid-air collision between a light plane and a helicopter over Paraparaumu, north of Wellington today, has claimed a third life. So, hang on a minute. Here's a helicopter was hit by a manned aircraft. They collided and someone died. No drones have ever done that. But wait, let's have a look here. 20 years since tragic crash and a nightmare mid-air collision above one of Auckland's busiest junctions. This is when the Eagle helicopter, here we go. On the 26th of November, air accident, police helicopter and Piper airplane collision over Auckland. So there's just two examples of when helicopters have been hit by light aircraft and people have died. So that's very, compared to drone collisions, that's much more frequent. And as I say, no one's ever been killed as a result of the recreational use of multi-rotor drones, but aeroplanes are hitting helicopters quite frequently. So the biggest risk to people in helicopters are people in aircraft. Not drones, but people in aircraft. So what Ms. Norgate is saying here is completely erroneous. And also, even if we look at the number of near misses, when you look at how many of those have been evidenced, how many of those have actually turned out to have any veracity to them, it's very infrequently, very irregularly do we hear. Very unusual to hear about an actual near miss between a drone and aircraft, certainly in New Zealand. So this is just a lie, and why wasn't it challenged by the reporter that couldn't even get her gender right? Seriously, this is awful. But I'm going to go back up here a bit further, because this is even worse than you'd think. It says here, as the operator flew the device over a group of hikers, they picked up stones and threw them at it, with one of them scoring a direct hit. The drone crash landed soon afterwards. Now, I'm going to refer you to the CAA, the Civil Aviation Act 1990. All right, here we go. Which says a person commits an offence who acts in a manner that endangers an aircraft or person in an aircraft. Now, obviously the fact that these stones brought down this drone was certainly an endangerment to that aircraft. And you might be saying, oh, but it's not an aircraft, it's a drone. Well, let's go to the CAA website, shall we? Where it says unmanned aircraft, such as drones, are very popular for recreational and business use. And here's the thing you want to look at, but it's an aircraft. So your drone is an aircraft. It says here, Civil Aviation Authority. They said it, right? So that means that this here applies. Throwing stones at drones is an offence because you endanger that aircraft. And it's not just a trivial offence. It's not like flying a drone in a park without a permit, which might get you a $1,500 fine. If you throw a stone at a drone, and especially if you bring it down, you potentially face a fine of up to $10,000 and or up to 2 years in prison. So the real crime, the real thing that should be reported here is that a group of hikers broke the law by bringing down an aircraft with stones and no action was taken. No one cares. Like, are they saying that two wrongs make a right? No, they don't. Seriously, the more serious crime here is going to be completely ignored because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't vilify drones. In fact, if we look at the Facebook page, I won't do it, but if you look at the Facebook page for this news organisation, we've got people praising the drone, praising the hikers for bringing down this drone. So from this we can possibly extrapolate that if you see a car driving where it shouldn't, just throw rocks at it. You won't get prosecuted because it's okay. You're doing the world a service by showing that car driver he shouldn't be driving there. No, this is just unbelievably bad. So, yeah, Television One News, your news standards are atrocious. You don't challenge the statements made by people like Ms. Norgate. You don't even get her gender right. You don't research anything. And you don't point out the glaringly obvious fact that the bigger crime is being completely ignored. Really, seriously, this is what stands for journalism today in the modern world, and it's not just New Zealand, it is around the world. This is what we have to fight. People reading this will be completely getting the wrong idea about drones. I cannot believe it. I really cannot believe it. They didn't even, the reporter didn't even point out the hypocrisy that drones have been criticised for the noise they make, but helicopters operating regularly, that's fine. What do I do? Anyway, so I just had to get this off my chest. I had to do a bit of a rant about this. It is just unacceptable, totally unacceptable. TVNZ, I'd like you to give me some feedback if you like. I'm going to post a link to this video on their Facebook page. Let's see if they've got the testicular fortitude to front up and explain themselves why they got this so wrong, why they couldn't even get the woman's gender right. Seriously, this is not journalism. This is tabloid. This is fake news. TV1, the ball's in your court. Let's see what you've got to say. Comments down there. Leave your comment. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.